be the difference in the game?
Yeah, we got sped up. It reminded me of Game 3 a little bit. They got into us, thought we crossed half court, not being organized. When you do that, turnovers are going to follow. And, the 14 for 23, it's been the story of the series. If you don't take care of it, you lose, bottom line. And when you don't take care of it, a lot of times it's just spacing, and we're not organized where we need to be. Again, they picked up full. They changed the game. And I also thought in the third quarter, we played good defense. We never, ever came up with a 50-50 ball. And that's just such a back-breaking feeling when you do everything right and don't come up with the ball. So we gave them a lot of extra possessions. That quarter absolutely killed us. I thought the rest of the game was very even. We played a really, really good fourth quarter with a lot of effort. But we got to be better throughout the whole game.
David, what is the mindset now? I mean, I got to imagine this is why you fight so hard for home court advantage in the first round.
Yeah, we talked about it, after the game. It's you win those last 3 games, not just to stay out of the play-in, but to get the home court in Game 7, bottom line. And we earned it. And that's what I told them in there. You've earned this opportunity. You earned the opportunity tonight to try to close it out because of the way you played in the series to get to 3-2. But now you have the opportunity to go home in front of your home fans and advance. And so, you play all year for that. We got that opportunity, and we're very, very excited to go back out there and play again.
Coach, I know it's a different prism for you, but, looking at this series as a whole, just the attrition of the series and how evenly played this series, what are your thoughts on that, just from kind of a bird's eye view, if you can, and, just how this translates into Saturday afternoon?
Yeah, I mean, this is what I expected, to be honest. This felt like a 7-game series. Obviously, we wanted to close it out today, but it's an evenly matched series. There's so many good players out there, guys that can have nights. Jamal had his night the other night. Kawhi and James had a good one tonight. Obviously, Nikola's had his night. And Nikola gets fouled a lot. I'm not sure what was happening tonight, but for him to shoot 2 free throws with the amount of contact that was going on out there was absolutely crazy. They put smalls on him. Those smalls were allowed to do whatever they want. So I'm really excited for Saturday that we're going to be able to do the same thing with their best players. Because if that's the physicality we're allowed to play with, we'll react to it, and we will go there in Game 7.
Yeah, you kind of touched on the 50-50 balls. Can you take a little solace knowing that it did seem like every bounce went their way, and if it's just more even Saturday, you'll be right there?
Right. And, 50-50, too, it's a skill. And you're right. It seemed like every time they came up with it, somebody's in the corner would knock down a 3. Make a big play. We cut it to, felt like we get it to 8, we get it to 6, and a play like that would happen. A ball get tipped at half court, they come up with it, ends up being a dunk. So we'll watch that, but it's one of those things, like you said, the median, hopefully it comes back, and we come up with some of those to find easy baskets, but that's also an effort thing, attentiveness, and we'd be better at that on Saturday if we want to win.
David, with Nikola, I think he was held to 5 after halftime. It seemed like he was attacking a lot of closeouts at the three-point line. When it's being officiated a certain way, when they're playing pretty physically and he's not getting much at the rim, would you rather just see him take those threes eventually, or what are you kind of seeing in terms of the reads that he's making on those?
Yeah, it's a good conversation. He was 2 for 4 tonight. I don't know. I think he felt driving the closeouts with Zubats. If he gets by him, he's creating offense for other people. Aaron's playing behind the defense. It creates corner threes, things like that. But probably have a better mix on Saturday. Let that thing fly a little bit, especially when Zubats is down the floor. But Nikola, everything he does is trying to be the most unselfish player he can be. Saturday, maybe we need a little more selfishness from the three-point line.
Yeah, David, I know this is a different series than a year ago, but last year against Minnesota, you got to the 7th game, and fatigue seemed like such an issue, especially by the second half of that game. How can you manage sort of the next 48 hours to get these guys to the second half feeling a little fresher?
Yeah, I think maybe you have to be more creative substitution-wise in Game 7 earlier in the game because the second half is going to be what it is. They're going to play their guys. We're going to play ours. Tonight, I think James and Kawhi were out for maybe a minute in the second half. So we know that's what Game 7s are. And I think it's sitting down with the staff, looking at the rotation. I thought Peyton played well tonight. He had good activity, trying to get guys in and out quicker, and trying to save minutes early. And then obviously I brought this up tonight because we were so running uphill. It felt like I used a lot of timeouts, and sometimes it's easier strategically to use those for rest during games. Tonight was not the case. So we'll sit down and talk about that. I'm sure they'll have the same conversations with the minutes they've played. But yeah, off our feet and try to be more creative with the minutes for sure.
David, they went much or relied on Nick Batum much heavier in the second half. I guess what kind of dynamic did he add to the game as a whole?
Well, yeah, I mean, he makes rotations harder. You know, he's a guy that can really knock down the three-point shot. But like I said, I thought late in the game we figured something out with how we, shrunk behind the ball. The main defender, the point defender, because we don't want to be hitting the whole game. And the one time I called the hit from half court and Jones made the three, sometimes you have to live with that. But when they have all shooters out there, yes, it is one-on-one defense, but it's also a much better shrink, more stunting, more up the line, more aggression can help those guys that are guarding these two really good players.
David, you kind of touched on it there, but in the fourth quarter when you guys make that run and you get it so close, what was working, and do you feel like you let it slip away when you get so close and you're not able to just close it out?
Yeah, I mean, our defense really picked up, and, we forced them to drive to the basket and try to make individual plays, which led to runouts and easy baskets for us. The question about the minutes, that's the thing. You put all this effort into that, you come up short, but I also think it's a momentum builder for Saturday. If we would have got blown out like we did last year in Minnesota, you kind of start to second-guess yourself. I didn't see that tonight. I saw a really poor third quarter, and besides that, a very even basketball game. And we feel like if we can play 4 quarters like we've done, in Game 5 and in Game 4, obviously the first 3 quarters, if we can, replicate that to Game 7, I think we'll be in a good place.
Da, you kind of touched about having the luxury, the reward of fighting for the home court, to have it in Game 7, and the Avs won tonight, I think in large part having a good crowd. So how big will it be to have the Nuggets crowd revved up for the Game 7 Saturday?
Yeah, it's going to be huge, and I hope everybody, go to brunch and come. Then it's 5:30 game. We need energy. We need juice. Your home crowd can help you with that. But the crowd is one thing. We have to be more responsible with the ball. That's going to be the key in Game 7. We have to have quality possessions. We can't race the ball up and down the floor, not be under control. We need to control the pace better than we did tonight. Thank you, Coach. Thanks.